Alfie had been abused by his owners for years. It's not really clear why these people had a dog at all, because it seems that they had no love for him at all. They covered the poor senior dog's mouth with duct tape and kept him chained up for years. For just making puppy mistakes, this nameless young dog was put outside. For crying with all his sad puppy heart to be heard and loved, he was muzzled, the Animal Advocates Society's blog says. For scratching at the door, begging to be allowed to be near the family he loved and yearned for, he was chained. They didn't even name the poor pup. He ended up becoming lethargic and depressed over the years, since he was always chained and ignored. Very often, if no one comes to their rescue, dogs like this one are dumped at a pound where they may be sold to another abuser, or if their behavior doesn't pass the test, they are killed, the folks at the Animal Advocates Society say. So, it's likely that the golden retriever would have failed any sort of test, since he was so ill-behaved because of the abuse. This dog was so badly damaged that it was clear that he had been beaten. He trusted no one, the blog explains. He barked hysterically and rushed and snapped. He would have been killed within days. Many of the dog's neighbors witnessed this abuse, but nothing was ever done about it. Calls by dismayed and increasingly desperate neighbors to the SPCA changed nothing, Animal Advocates Society said. So this puppy grew to adulthood like this. Finally, one neighbor had enough. He couldn't stand to see the dog suffer anymore. He didn't care about trespassing and jumped his neighbor's fence, unchained the dog, and dog-napped him. He named the dog Alfie and took care of him. The man's job prevented him from being able to take care of Alfie in the long term, so he took Alfie to a rehabilitation center for senior dogs. He was saved. He got a name, Alfie, and he got the loving home, the fun, the novelty, the running, and the forgiveness for mistakes that every dog deserves, the blog explains. Alfie was particularly sensitive and damaged after so much abuse, so he was far from an easy dog for a long time. But he got the kind of miracle that saved his life a second time. Alfie also ended up with a forever family of his own and even has a sibling that looks just like him. He got this family. A family who never stopped working with him, at home, on the trails, at classes. Year after year, the Animal Advocates Society says. In fact, Alfie never stopped needing the special love and care that this very special family gave him. He lived a long and extraordinarily happy life with his sister and his extraordinary mom and dad.